Hello and welcome to Nirmal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ebitda. We have with us Mr. Sunil Kala, MD and CEO at Navneet Education, joining in. Welcome to the show, Sunil, and always a pleasure to speak to you and get insights from you. To start off with, firstly, we've seen how COVID has impacted the overall education system as a whole. If you have to sum up the last 12 to 18 months, what would the key highlights be according to you?
So I would say the biggest sufferer in the process of last 2 years has been the student community, and particularly the younger student community. They have suffered the most. As far as schools are concerned, I think they were in really bad position in terms of not recovering fees, but continuously pay salaries and various other overheads of the school that they were not able to cope up with. So schools, many schools we have been hearing are really out of the money, and how will they survive going forward is a big question. So these I am talking in general. And as far as businesses like our publishers are concerned, of course, major of the business was happening because of the school recommendation. And because they were taught in the school, they were buying or referring to extra material that they can get help from. So that also did not happen because they more or less did not learn. Now everyone says that online has been on. I also agree that in SSC schools, particularly where 95-96% of the student population learn, most of the schools did provide online learning, but we believe, and as we experience, it is a one-way communication where there is no control on the students' attention at all. And what students are really learning is a big question. So since the learning was not interactive at all, students have suffered, and the effectiveness of online, we really do not see has happened, particularly in SSC schools. With respect to CBSE, ICSE schools, yes, the interactivity was there and students were a little serious, and other parents also were very serious, and therefore they would have definitely learned. But when we talk to parents also, none of the parents are happy that that child really spent good 2 years learning at home. And secondly, I believe as far as schools not reopening, the overall development of a child has really suffered. And therefore, how will they be able to cope up going forward is to be seen. So even if learning has happened, the overall development of a child has suffered. So we believe that these such parents and such students will have a tough time going forward unless now schools restart soon, which I believe is very important for the student community. And if that happens, then come back to our business will be back to normal.
Right. So overall, that's a sum up of how, if the year 21 or the last 12 to 18 months have been. Looking forward as well, what, according to you, should be the roadmap ahead? Because again, we don't know when schools will restart. Once they restart as well, we don't know what happens in the next coming months with regards to COVID, if there are any more mutations that come in, if there are further closures that come in. Do you think the government should look at adopting a hybrid model? We don't know how effective it will be, though, but is that a possibility which should be taken into consideration?
So I believe it is just not the responsibility of the government. They may mandate or they may suggest so. It will be very important for the schools to think and decide what kind of hybrid model should they adopt. It will be the responsibility of the parents to take their children little more seriously and make them comfortable, making them comfortable at home so that they can learn properly. And finally, some of other duty of the parent would be to continuously convince their students involved in their learning process, provide them extra activity, and if they can do so, then I think hybrid model will work. Just online education, when we speak, is not likely to be effective. So each concerned team members, right, government, school, parents, everyone will have to take extra efforts to make their children's learn.
Right. Right. So, Sunil, overall, that's from a perspective of how the demand side is. From a supply side, how prepared are we for a hybrid model?
What I understand, what we are referring to is the physical and digital
Correct.
both product category.
Hmm.
So as you Hiral know that Navneet's major business has been from SSC schools. So we of course have all the physical products ready with us. Together with that, we have good type of digital products where students can learn properly, understand properly. Such product we already have for the student community as well, and for the schools also if they want to impart online education. So all the product categories required for the hybrid model, we have ready with us. And we are continuously making efforts to convince the schools, the teachers, through them, we are trying to convince parents to subscribe to the products that Navneet has. And if they use that, I believe we will have no problem going forward.
Hmm. Right. And overall, if you say in terms of where the digital side of education goes, what percentage of our revenues right now come from digital education, and where do we look to scale it up?
No, so at present, it is hardly 3% of our total content revenue. And if finally the usage of digital increases day by day, then that by 2025, I mean, and why I'm saying 2025 also, now I'm not just looking in the scenario that we are already in, but in a normal scenario also, we believe that with the experience of last 2 years by the school teacher community, I think usage of digital products, be it in the classroom or be it offline, online, will be used more and more. So keeping that in mind, we believe that in next 3 years or so, we should see revenue of around 20 odd percentages coming from digital education.
Right. And overall, on the digital side of education as well, how does the business model actually work? Is it B2B, or is it more, there's a possibility of a B2G kind of a model as well that could be adopted?
We believe, as we have been experiencing over last 6 decades, first and foremost, schools will have to adopt digital education, be it in the school or be it online. And once school uses that in the school, in the classroom, then it will be easily adopted by the student community also. So we call it B2C, wherein consumer means the direct students. But we do not promote directly to the students. We again request schools to recommend these to their students to subscribe to B2C product. So we call it B2B2C. So our major focus has been till date on B2B, which is providing classroom learning in a digital format, as well as providing student version, wherein students not only learn what they have learned in the classroom, they learn it at home also. Added to that, various extracurricular activities, question papers have been provided so that students can judge where have they understood or where they are failing, so they can repeatedly do so again and again.
Right. And overall, if you see in terms of where business is concerned, in terms of the second quarter of FY22 or even in the first half, we've seen growth that has come in vis-a-vis what we saw in FY21. How are you envisaging FY23 as a year overall?
So the reason of higher growth versus FY21 in 22 In bits and pieces at various places, schools did open. If you recall, in FY21, the whole of first half, more or less, schools weren't open. Whereas in the current year, in the first half, in bits and pieces, as I said, schools were open, and majorly in the state of Gujarat, schools were open, and therefore we could achieve higher sales. And therefore, FY22 will be much better than FY21. Not, of course, not going back to the normal years that we had. Now, FY23, what we now understand of the situation, more or less schools will reopen, and but right from kindergarten till 12th grade, and therefore we believe FY23 has to be as normal it was as it was earlier. And added to that, we will have digital penetration. So company will have an advantage of not only selling the physical products, but as well as selling more and more digital products also.
Right. And overall, if we see on a consolidated performance basis, on the digital front, again, you have eSense, Indianica, or for that matter, GNext, all of them are still loss-making at an EBITDA level.
Yeah.
When do we see a break-even coming there?
Break-even at Indianica, we are likely to see in the current year itself, because when major revenue comes in the last quarter of the year, and that is for the next academic year. And we believe since schools are likely to reopen in the next academic year, we will achieve good revenue in the last quarter of the current year. Therefore, at Indianica, we are likely to see break-even for sure. Now, coming back to eSense or GenNext or other investments that we have already made, those are into investment phase right now. And many things that we have already planned in last 1 year or so. So we are in growing stage or adding more and more products and platforms in our kitty. Therefore, we are not likely to see eSense or GenNext coming to EBITDA level positive very soon, at least for next 2 years.
Right. And in terms of different segments as well, we still have stationery exports, which is maximum, then followed by publications, and then the domestic stationery business. Which segments would be growth drivers in the next, say, 12 to 18 months?
Of course, exports will be the growth driver, because the way demand is coming in, now I think it depends on us how much can we supply. Therefore, exports is likely to be growth driver. No doubt we have internal challenges. Internal means challenges within the country, or I would say it is international challenge where raw material prices are rising. Transportation is again a big challenge. So we believe then also export should rise a lot. Now, when I'm saying exports will rise, again, there's some if and but here also, because if our buyers, means countries where we export, if they also face very, very bad situation there, then again, it may postpone for a while. But as we speak, the kind of orders that we have it on hand, or the demand that newer products that our customers are demanding, looking at that, exports will be the major growth driver. Then comes the publishing business, where if schools are reopening, we are very sure that it will come back to normal. And then it will be domestic stationery.
Right. And overall, what's the kind of next milestone we are looking to cross if you have to look at the next 3 years?
So, of course, in terms of, I would say 2 milestones in terms of revenue, at least we should cross 2,000 crore. And in terms of introducing newer and newer digital products, that we are very, very keen and working very hard on that right now. So I should give you a little brief on what all that we are planning to do. So at eSense, as you may recall, that we were just focusing SSC medium curriculum for the classroom and for the direct students. Now we have developed a CBSE curriculum in toto for the classroom, and that together with very strong LMS platform that we have already made and have started marketing to the schools, so that we are seeing very big opportunity going forward, wherein this platform was made after a big survey among the schools, identifying the needs and gaps of the teacher community. And then that based on that, we created this LMS platform. So this is one area where we are expecting good growth coming in. And then once having success, similar kind of platform we will introduce for SSC schools also. So that is part one. Secondly, what we have done is we have created a digitized book platform. So we call it DigiBook. So whatever physical products that we have, all will be converted in a digital format and will be available to the end users to use and read online. Now, what I mean, it is just not the PDF format of a book. It is much more interactive with lot many activities in it. So much more beyond a physical book. So that kind of platform is also ready. Books are being uploaded. And for the next academic year, we will have most of our titles on that platform. So this is the second initiative that is going on. The third initiative that we are doing is creating an online, I would say not just online, but it is phygital product that we are introducing for early childhood. And that will be, we expect the parents across India will subscribe to that online model, and whoever subscribes will get physical kits as well for the students to learn together with what they see on online platform. So that also has been made with an understanding of what exactly students should learn and how should they progress in their early years. So keeping that in mind, such product has been already developed and will be launched in next 2 months or so. So next academic year, all these three products category that I spoke, these are all being done on organic basis. Now, you also know that we have acquired GenNext last 4 or 5 months ago. We have already started marketing this tutoring platform to the tutor community. Initial response has been very good. Of course, suggestions are coming in and we are upgrading our platform. So that also will, we believe that will get much, adoption will be much faster among the tutor community. And particularly if this pandemic continues further, then the usage of this platform will be more and more higher. We believe that once this platform is being put to use or being adopted by the tutor community, we will have additional advantage of selling our content together with that. So that also will be another opportunity for Navneet Group to accelerate the sales of digital products. So there are, these are the several activities that we are trying to build ourselves, as well as partnering with companies like GenNext. So we'll be trying to offer it to various customers across India.
Right. So my last question coming to you, Sunil, is what's the kind of price point that we work with on these digital products?
It is, I would say it is very dynamic. It all depends on the volume that the school gives. Volume, when I mean, is number of grades that they subscribe for or number of students that they are likely to use. So basically, if I should say that if schools adopt this digital product, platform and products from us, the yearly charges would be around 2,500 per student. Yeah, that kind of number we are expecting to get.
Right. All right. Thank you, Sunil, so much for joining us on the show. It's always a pleasure to get insights from you and understand what the sector is actually going to look like. Thank you. Stay safe and wishing you a happy new year as well.
Same to you, Hiral, and all of you. Thank you.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.